So hey everybody, I am here in front of my home on Martha's Vineyard. I've been home from Ireland now for about 2 weeks, I think. And the big difference between here and Ireland, even though the weather is very similar in terms of gray skies and rain and sleet and snow, especially this time of year, is Ireland has a lot of green grass. Everything is green in Ireland. Spring starts in Ireland on February 1st. And the houses are all pretty colors. So around here, we've got mostly brown ground, brown grass. It's starting to turn a little bit green, but it's pretty much brown. And the houses are all gray and white and very blah. It's kind of depressing. So it is the second day of spring, March 19th. And I had a hankering to get out and take a little walk. I've got the G7X Mark III, and I've got my Joby. And I'm going to take a walk through town, go down around the harbor, and see what I can find. The challenge is I walk this route every day and very little changes. So the challenge for me is to really look and see what there is that I can photograph. I'm going to go for the macro and the micro and the global, and might run into some people. I don't know. I never know what I'm going to find. Sometimes I just get one photo, and I'm happy that I've taken my camera with me. So that's what I'm up to today. And I'm going to head out. Got a couple of crocuses blooming here, left over from the crocuses that my mother planted about, 40 years ago. Daffodils are going to bloom soon. There's a fair amount of traffic for this time of year, but we're gonna just take a walk and see what we can see. I see a couple of people with bicycles. I don't know if they're tourists or... Hey, how are you? One thing about where I live, the big difference between here and Ireland is people are not as friendly here. It really takes a lot for strangers to say hello to each other. But I was taught as a small child by my mother, when you're walking down the street, you come across somebody walking towards you, you smile and say hello. So I continue that tradition in honor of my mother and to try and spread some good cheer. Okay, off I go. These are the little white violets. Well, I don't know why they're called violets, but they are violets, but they're white. My mother always said that they bloomed right around Easter. And yeah, we're about a week and a half away from Easter. So here they are, right on schedule, right in my front yard. I don't know if I mentioned it's about 40 degrees, 40-ish. The sun is coming and going. It's not really cold, but I've got my scarf and hat on. I like to be cozy. So I'm headed down Main Street. We're going to see what we can see. This time of year might not be much, but we're going to give it a try. I'm going to push myself a little bit. Oh, we have a casualty here. We have an American flag that has blown off of a house and is in the bushes. There's nobody in this house at the moment. There's nobody in most of these houses at the moment. We have another casualty here. Big branch has broken off of this tree. We had a kind of a windstorm a week or two ago, and there were branches everywhere. I think this is a catalpa tree. So we're coming up to the Whaling Church. It's the church with it's formerly the Methodist church, the big Methodist church in Edgartown. And it's the church that has the town clock tower and the town clock and the bell. And that bell was not ringing, I want to say for 4 or 5 months. It was out of order. And it was kind of upsetting. A lot of people in town were asking about it. Where's the bell? What happened to the bell? And I was especially upset about it because I've written a book called How I Love That Bell for my grandchildren. And it goes, there is a clock in my town, it sits high on a tower, and in that tower there is a bell that rings every hour. Ding dong, hear the bell. Well, anyway, I had to change the battery right in the middle of that last monologue. I don't know where I left off. Oh yeah, my grandkids love the bell. We can hear it from my house. We count the bells. We sing the song. We just love it. I made a little book called How I Love That Bell, song How I Love That Bell. And so it's really great to have the bell back. The bell was fixed sometime last week. I was out walking and I heard the bell ring and I said, must be about 5 o'clock. I checked my watch and it was actually 6. I said, whoa, wait. That was the town clock. And that was the first time I'd heard it in months. So I have to say, every time I hear it now, I smile. So that's great. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to keep walking. And basically, I'm just walking and talking to myself. Nobody else to talk to. And besides, I never disagree with myself. Well, maybe sometimes. Anyway, here we are. Downtown Edgartown, second day of spring. There's St. Elizabeth's. It's my church. The old Whaling Church was my grandmother's church. It's not even a church anymore. But, and here comes one of my favorite buses. Not really. It's a big, empty VTA bus. The bane of my life. 30 of them every hour go past my house in the summer. Half of them are empty. They take up the whole street. They mow down fences. They bully the bikes into the gutter. Don't get me started. There's the town administrator's office up above. Hi, James. He's probably on the phone. Otherwise, he would come to the window and say hello. All right, here we go. There's Gino's bench across the street outside of Scoops. No Gino today, but he was here yesterday for the first time all winter that I saw him. And it was a beautiful sunny day. And I said to him how great it is that we have both lived through the winter and we're here to see another spring. We'll see Gino on another day when the sun comes out. And there's the Port Hunter. This was the First National store grocery store when I was a kid. Once upon a time, there were actually 4 grocery stores in downtown Edgartown. 4 grocery stores, 2 pharmacy and soda fountains, a hardware store, shoe store, clothing store, home goods store. In fact, this was once Hall's department store, where we would come to buy our shoes. Now it's Claudia's jewelry store, where my son sells his jewelry. So we had everything we needed right here in downtown Edgartown, and we all lived in downtown Edgartown. We rarely drove our cars. We walked to everywhere. We'd see each other on the street. Hello. And how are you? Good, good. So now it's mostly tourist stores. This is the Lily Pulitzer shop. So it's summer stores, tourist stores, t-shirt shops, ice cream shops, nothing real, just summer stuff. Kind of a ghost town here in the winter. Hello. Dock Street Coffee Shop. I think, well, it has an open sign, but it's dark. So I think it's mostly open in the morning. Bike rentals, closed at the moment. Take a walk down around Fisherman's Pier. Sometimes I'm lucky enough to meet up with a fisherman or a friend. See if there are any boats around. Not too many. I always kind of like these rope patterns on the dock. The lines and the grain of the wood and the random design of the ropes, the way they've fallen. So we're going to get a shot of that. I also like the texture, the different textures on this wall. This is I don't know what it is. Oh, it's the Bluefish and Bass Derby headquarters. Not at the moment, but that's what it's used for sometimes. But I like the textures and the patterns of the wood. So we're going to get a shot of this. Again, I'm just basically using this as an exercise to photograph things that I see all the time that I take for granted, and try to keep my hand in the game, you know. I like this little blue and yellow boat. I don't know what the story is with it. It's half blue and half yellow. I think this is worthy of a picture. Okay, we've got lines and colors here. It's a scallop boat. Scallop season is just about over. So we've got red, blue, and yellow here. We've got the primary colors. All right, we're going to keep walking. And oh, look at this. I see a little Porsche with surfboards on the top. I love it. I love it. I looked at the surf report. It did not look very good for today. Otherwise, I would have headed up to Chilmark and checked out the surfing scene. Sunday morning looks good, but I am not available on Sunday morning. So we're going to get a shot of this car with the surfboards. I love it. And you know, I traipsed around Ireland with tons of gear. Backpack, lenses, cameras, and I still prefer the simplicity of this one G7X Mark III, my wireless mic, and my Joby tripod, my little Joby, because I can perch it anywhere. We're going to do that right now. Here we are. Still have some scallop boats out. Honestly, I don't know when scallop season actually ends. Let's see, March 19th? Must be very soon. Maybe April 1st? I see a lot of the boats are pretty much cleaned up. So maybe it's over. Yeah, this boat here, the drags are not even on it anymore. I see Becca still has her gear. But everything's looking pretty tidy. I see a swan out there and a seagull. I think some of these boats are worthy of a photograph. Maybe we'll go up to the viewing platform up on the yacht club and get a shot from up there. Alrighty. So I'm also working on a black and white film project called Working Harbor. And I'm trying to document the boats and the fishermen and the gear and the stuff that's going on down here around the docks, because I fear that someday this little small town fishing industry might not exist. I know it's been documented over the years. And right now I'm actually photographing grandchildren, fishermen who are grandchildren of people I used to go scalloping with 40 years ago. So I'm up on top of a public staircase on top of the Edgartown Yacht Club. It's part of the public walkway around Edgartown Harbor. Looking down towards the seafood shanty, looking down towards the outer harbor, the Chappie Ferry. The nice thing about Edgartown Harbor is it's fairly open and accessible to the public. I was in Mystic, Connecticut a few years ago, and it was all closed off. Fences and signs saying private, keep out, and no real way to access the riverfront. It was kind of depressing. So it made me appreciate what we have here. And I know there's an effort to even open up more of it. And that's good. All right. We've got conch pots here. I don't know how many of these things I have photographed, but here they are, waiting for their next trip out to sea. Empty moorings today. In the summer, all of those spiles have boats attached to them. So here we have the information about the public walkway. And I love how they say rooftop deck only. God forbid anybody should wander into the exclusive Edgartown Yacht Club down below. Okay. Okay, oops. I don't want to step in there. Again, I'm on a mission to make the ordinary things that I see every day look extraordinary, or at least different. We're going to give it a try. I don't know. So this whaling dory was under wraps all winter, under a plastic canopy, while they restored it and painted it. Looks like they're finished with it. It looks pretty good. Okay, here's something special. This is a brick with my mother's name, Allison Boylston Piazza, first select woman. Before she died, she told me the only thing she wanted was a brick in this little display down here next to the whaling park. And it took me 32 years to get it done, but I did it. There it is. She was the first select woman on the island, and this was in the early 1950s, and she beat out 6 other candidates. Well done, Allison. So here we are down at the Edgartown Town Wharf, newly rebuilt. And boy, everything's looking pretty gray down here. Gray, gray, gray. 50 shades of gray, baby. Gray sky, gray sea, gray boats, gray buildings. My mother wrote a poem about the gray sky and the gray sea. I'm going to have to find that. In fact, I'm working on a book of photographs to illustrate her poems. So I think this is Sandy Fisher's oystering barge. And I always worry when I'm down here prowling around the docks, jumping onto boats and whatnot. I'm worried that I'm going to just back right up and step into the water. Don't want to do that. There you go. There's the town clock. Here's an old capstan. Call all hands to man the capstan. See the cables running clear. Heave away and with a will, boys, for the vineyard we will steer. Sailing home, sailing home, sailing home across the sea. Sailing home to Martha's vineyard. Sailing home, dear land, to thee. Just a remnant of the whaling days. Soon it will be rusted out and gone, along with the memories and the stories. Here's a pretty empty yacht club parking lot. So that's about it. I'm going to head back up Main Street. Call it a day. I do try to get out and walk every day. I usually have a camera with me. I don't always have a video rolling, but today I was in the mood. And here we go. Gray, gray, gray. Gray, gray, gray. And here we go. Right back up Main Street. Right back where we belong. It was not a long walk particularly, but it was kind of fun. Almost home.